As coronavirus epidemic continues to spread from mainland China to other parts of the world, WION correspondent Grace Lee joins us live from Hong Kong. Grace, welcome to WION. Let's focus on the official numbers first. 74 new deaths China has reported in the last 24 hours. The number of those infected is 28,000. What's the latest you're learning from the Chinese Medical Association?
Yeah, the official toll went up once again overnight, and it's really fueling fears here in Hong Kong and other parts nearby China that as the death toll continues to rise and as the number of infected continues to rise, we're also seeing an increase in human-to-human transmissions, especially here in Hong Kong. We've seen several cases already of people contracting the coronavirus, people who had not been to China recently. So that is a huge concern for the communities here.
Grace, we are also learning that China is facing a severe shortage as far as hospital beds and face masks is concerned. What details can you tell us on that?
Yeah, there are 2 makeshift hospitals that China managed to build in days, but officially there are still thousands of people who need help and they're not getting it, according to reports from inside of Wuhan. The other distressing thing that we're learning is that makeshift hospitals around China are being built as fast as possible at the moment, but really, because of the number of people that are getting infected, the rate is so fast that officials are really struggling to make sure that everybody is getting the help that they need.
Absolutely, Grace. The number of casualties is increasing every day. It is a cause of concern. Over 500 people have now fallen victim to the coronavirus. But on the other hand, over 1,000 people have been treated successfully and they have been discharged from the hospital.
Yeah, so the number of people who are being cured from this virus is also going up every day, but there are also side reports. One report from Taiwan today reported that there was a toll in numbers from Tencent on their official website, that the number of the people who have died are actually much higher, at 25,000 people instead of the 500 that the Chinese government put out today. So that is kind of the symptom of what happened in the early 2000s when the SARS virus hit worldwide. China did not reveal official numbers for a very long time and tried to hide the fact that the virus was spreading. So there is a lot of paranoia around what the official number might possibly be.
Absolutely. Grace, you mentioned the numbers there, very crucial. You mentioned that Taiwan report. Now, while the official figure stands at over 500, the report that was published in Taiwan says that the official death toll could be 40 times higher. So so what's the sense on the ground as far as that report is concerned?
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation about what that report might have been. Some people think that perhaps it was a coding error, or perhaps it was someone in Tencent trying to leak information so that the global community knows what's happening in China. But nonetheless, that's not the official number from China. But you can understand why people are paranoid about things like that, because of how China did try to hide those numbers in the early 2000s with the SARS outbreak.
Right. Grace, we'll keep coming back to you. Thank you so much for joining us on WION. Now, Grace, one more concern is as far as about the medical staff. These people are on the front lines. They are treating the patients who have been infected by the coronavirus. Some of them are overworked. Most of them are overworked. They themselves are in quarantine, not allowed to meet their friends and family themselves. So there is a cause of concern about the well-being of these Chinese health workers also, isn't it? Do they have enough equipment to deal with the coronavirus?
Yeah, well, even if they did have the equipment to deal with the coronavirus, like they've been reporting for the past couple of days and weeks, they are running out of medical supplies. We've even seen pictures of doctors just putting plastic bags over their heads, trying to somehow save themselves from the coronavirus as they go in every day to try and save these patients. There's also concern here in Hong Kong about medical supplies running out. And of course, there's a huge strike here of medical workers who are refusing to go to work because they say the Hong Kong government hasn't done enough to protect Hong Kong from the virus. So the medical community on the front lines are really starting to feel the pinch of this virus because, you know, it is very easy to transmit this disease from human to human now.
Absolutely, Grace. Very quickly before I let you go, you mentioned the strike in Hong Kong. The medical workers have been on strike. Have the demands been met? Have all the border crossings between Hong Kong and mainland China been sealed as of now?
Yeah, there are increasing calls for the border between China and Hong Kong to be sealed. Now there's going to be a quarantine of 14 days for anyone who's crossing the border, but a lot of people say that's too little too late. That measure was announced yesterday, and people are saying that we've already seen a death here in Hong Kong. We're already starting to see a growing number of human-to-human transmissions. Perhaps it's too late to contain this disease in Hong Kong, and medical workers are saying that the spread, it's only a matter of time before we see some kind of widespread illness here in Hong Kong. So there's a lot of concern about how slowly the government reacted to this initial report of the coronavirus.
Grace, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us on WION this morning and getting us all the latest from Hong Kong. Meanwhile, the Chinese administration has been tight-lipped on the virus outbreak. Other than a daily update on the casualty and infection count, information has been hard to come by. And now a leak from one of China's biggest multinational companies has triggered major panic. Now, the leak came courtesy of a Chinese company named Tencent. On your screens is a screen grab from Tencent's epidemic tracker that dates back to the 1st of February. Now take a look at the column on the far right, which shows the death count. The number is 24,589, which is almost 40 times the number that the Chinese government has reported. The official death toll stands at 563, but that's the number that this company had put on its website. Now, on infection count, there is a similar gulf in the numbers. The leak shows the number of infected to be as high as 1,54,000 people. Now, the government numbers say 28,000 people have been infected. So this figure is almost 5 times of what the Chinese government have been saying. Now, what's interesting here is that Tencent changed the numbers the very next day to reflect what the government was reporting. And according to many users who tracked the Tencent website, this happened more than once. So this leak could mean 2 things. One, that these are the real numbers and that the company accidentally leaked them, only to be wrapped by the government later. Or the second is that it was an honest mistake, a human error that led to wrong numbers being published online.